Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Today we're going to discuss Doomsday body armor. Specifically, I'm going to show you a plate carrier loadout, how to use that plate carrier for a Doomsday, end of the world scenario like what all these preppers are going for. But first, I really need to define the scenario. What is a Doomsday scenario? Is it a zombie apocalypse? You know, the zombie apocalypse is what all these people are talking about. It's the funny thing to say, but in reality, it's a catastrophe or a natural disaster, specifically when the rule of law is lost. So the natural disaster scenario could be a hurricane, it could be tornado, earthquake, anything like that, in the scenario where it gets bad enough where martial law is declared or the rule of law is lost. The catastrophe could be a terrorist attack, is what we're seeing a lot now in modern America. It could be a bombing, it could be really anything. It could be any kind of a catastrophe that allows for panic or pandemonium. It could be social or political unrest. There's been a lot of rioting over the recent years. There's a lot of political division. There's talk of civil war even, which is crazy to me, but you know, anything along these lines would be something that we could consider what the whole point of this video is and why you're going to be looking into this type of body armor specifically, and it'll be a plate carrier, which I have behind me in the Greyman operations pack right now. Well, if you're getting ready for the end of the world, Bone, why are you all dressed up like you're playing pickleball? Well, I'm wearing this bare bottom gear that they sent me and this pickleball racket that they sent me, playing a little practicing solo pickleball here at a racquetball court, because you don't know when SHTF is gonna happen. You don't know when the scenario that you're gonna have to be ready for is gonna occur. So you may just be getting that workout in, getting that exercise in, enjoying yourself, doing something like this. That's why I have my EDC Greyman operations pack. In fact, that's the ultimate survival bag from Bone Tactical, packed out the way it comes with a few extras we'll talk about in this video, including my plate carrier. But it's EDC, everyday carry. That means I have it with me all the time. Of course, in this scenario, the reason I'm wearing this is because I couldn't come in here all kitted out and crazy looking because the cops would get called. It would make me a target. So what we're gonna talk about in this video and what I'm gonna teach you when I teach you how to pick and choose and use a plate carrier for your end of the world scenario or you preppers out there, it's the real Greyman theory that I teach versus hard target. They're two different things. Being a hard target is looking tough so that the predatory instincts of individuals that are looking to rob, steal, kill, destroy out there, so they pick a different person, so they don't pick you, so they don't take your stuff. Well, if I look too hard, then I'm a high value hard target, and a real hard predator is gonna come for me anyway. So it's always a balance. I have to choose. Now in this situation, I'm gonna show you, I need to look the part for my surroundings and for my cover story. I'm out here playing some pickleball and I look the part. You didn't know, by any judge of what I'm having on, apart from possibly tattoos, that I'm anything other than a guy out here practicing my pickleball swing. So mid pickleball, I get the call. I see the smoke rings on the horizon, the sirens going off, the zombie horde coming in. Well, what do? Grab my plate carrier and suit up. You might laugh and think, hey, that's pretty funny. Obviously, you're wearing something under your shirt. Well, yeah, obviously I am. But the alternative is a lot worse. And while you can tell I'm obviously wearing something under my shirt, you can't obviously tell what it is. So the alternative would have people around here, calling the police, or me being looking like a menace or a threat even. And that's definitely not what you want in any situation. So the real Greyman theory is all about molding your presentation of yourself for the most favorable outcome possible. And right here, it's a favorable outcome that I'm able to move from point A to point B without a problem. Here in America, the end times will probably be marked as the transfer of what we consider to be patriots really being considered insurgents. And what do I mean by that? Well, a patriot, as we saw in the Revolutionary War, and what we consider them today, is just a red-blooded American supporter of America, right? Well, anytime that we have government control, anyone that's not directly associated with said government will be considered an insurgent or a guerrilla, depending on how much they want to stand up for their rights, how radical they are, if you will. And, you know, the Patriots were very radical at one time, and in a fall of society, it would be the same again. We would then consider anyone watching this video and considering themselves an American patriot, there's a good chance you would be considered an insurgent. Well, those of you who have served in the military might think insurgent and consider that to be a male of fighting age with a firearm, typically an AK-47, in a country, an occupied country. Well, when times switch over to martial law, whether it be roving gangs, whether it be the government, whether it be the loss of rule of law, whoever's in power in that power dynamic, that power shift at the moment, those are going to be the people in power, not us common civilians. So that's when an insurgent then becomes the guy with the Molly backpack, with the plate carrier, with the AR-15 slung. Now you're making yourself a target. So what's the difference? Well, you can see I'm walking around downtown here, very populated area, and I have rifle plates on and a plate carrier. But because of this El Sicario extreme duty gear shirt, really no one's able to take that or see that from in the surrounding area, and from my person in the way that I am looking and what I'm wearing right now. So the focus of this video being body armor and how to be prepared for that end times scenario. You may have already noticed several people have already walked by me and really not noticed anything off kilter. Well, if I was to be fully kitted out right now, what you guys think is your preparedness kit, what do you think, what kind of a reaction would that get from people around? It would get a very harsh reaction. You're making yourself a target, whether it be from law enforcement, roving gangs, like we say, the powers that be. By kitting out like you think you're going to, you're really just making yourself a target. So here I am walking around downtown, very populated area, and that's to show you guys how you really should be preparing. And in this case, any type of armoring up that you want to do, it really needs to be concealable and concealed. It really should be. And that's just so you have the biggest benefit of being able to be successful in whatever your mission is for that day, getting from point A to point B, being armored and not getting killed. So stay alive, stay sharp, and make sure you've considered the idea of you being out there, not in the military, not taking this advice from these military guys who have experience with, you know, having all that fire support of the military, having your team, having your back, millions of dollars of gear and tactical gear, and being the power in that area, the most powerful people. You're not any of that anymore. So take a lesson from the insurgent and learn how to not draw the wrong kind of attention to yourself. We've discussed the ideals and principles behind why we're making this Doomsday body armor video, what the most likely Doomsday scenario actually is, not what most people may think it's going to be, but what it actually is most likely to be. Loss of rule of law, especially in America, how that would look like overreaching government, government control, and then those of us who are civilians having to play the role of the insurgent. Okay, so a patriot becoming an insurgent, covered all that. Now we're going to talk about the gear and why this type of gear is so important, along with the utilization of the plate carrier I have in this backpack. Really, we're just gonna focus on body armor utilization. Now, this bag that I have right here, it's the ultimate survival bug out bag that I have on my website. This is exactly how it comes. It's the Greyman operations pack. You can buy it by itself, or it comes with all this survival gear. This is supposed to be a baseline, okay? Real quick, this is the baseline, your absolute minimum, and then you add stuff in as you go according to your personal needs. So I'm gonna put this over here. I'm not gonna talk about all my survival gear. If you wanna check that out, there's tons of videos already about the survival gear on the channel that I sell and pre-pack that bag specifically for the minimum base of survival gear needs. But this plate carrier from RTS Tactical, again, everything will be linked in the description below, is the plate carrier that I've chosen for this mission, okay, for this role. And I think it's really good in a lot of ways. It fits perfectly in the Greyman operations pack along with the rest of my survival gear, so it's not a burden at all, and it makes it very easy to armor up. Now, what I want to look for in a plate carrier is quality materials. This is Cordura, okay? Cordura is like a minimum quality material. There are some lighter materials that you can get into if you want to go super expensive, but I really think this is just about the best priced option for the minimum of what really fits my needs. There were some extra padding here that I will talk a little bit about in this video towards the end, but for right now, what I did was immediately take the extra padding off. I love that it's adaptable like that. This is all quick release, which is really cool for if your plate carrier were to get like hung up on something. This plastic it's pretty heavy duty. Because it's quick release, what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna tape one side. Okay, I'll still be able to get it off, but should these quick release little things right here catch on something, okay, I don't want my plate carrier falling off either, so I am gonna tape one side of the plate carrier. So I'll just show you that here. I do want to use a tape that's not exactly gonna be like I don't want to use black tape because there's no black on here. I want to maintain the ability to go camouflage once I get into a rural environment. And so we'll discuss that. I just wanted to show you this little hack right here. I do like to close off one side of my plate carrier here. And I'll do this, you know, better in the future, but I just wanted to show you that really quickly on video. I'll tape this one over here as well. That being said, what I look for otherwise is level 4 and up protection. I want protection up to 30-06 armor piercing. There's just really no reason not to go is heavy protection. If you feel like you need body armor, then get a high level protection body armor. So these are rifle plates, level 4. All of it's from RTS Tactical. Again, you can get lighter. These are ceramic. You can get a little bit lighter, but you know the lighter you go, the higher speed, the more expensive. So this is a full kit that I'll tag in the description below. It's got color matched Velcro here, which is cool. The inside has this kind of mesh nylon, which is really important for keeping a little bit of body separation, a little bit of airflow, and so you don't just get it soaked and nasty when you're out running, gunning, and sweating. There's little pads and little areas. I like that, but it's very thin and low profile for what it is, and that's so important for being able to conceal it. This entire video is teaching you guys, which most people don't know. You get your ex-military guys who are used to having full support of the US government, not understanding that in end times, we're more likely to be an insurgent role, so we don't need to have all that outward force of all this communication gear and your rifle slung and all this, because you don't have your backup now. You're not necessarily the power. The power dynamic shifts. By now, we should be understanding that we need to be able to conceal this. As we go from urban to rural and rural to urban, we can go between concealment, which is in a rural environment, it's going to be camouflage, but in an urban environment, it's about not immediately getting seen and recognized as that guy having a gun, plate carrier, molly backpack, none of that stuff. You want to be able to move around without drawing too much negative attention to yourself, without making yourself look like a big target or a threat. So the way that we do that is we cover it over with a very specific concealment shirt. Now, the only concealment shirt in the world that is specifically designed to conceal anything on your torso with a heavy-duty double-layer fabric is the El Sicario Extreme Duty shirt from Bone Tactical. The one I'm wearing right now is the hot weather version. Okay, this is thinner, so it prints more. You guys can see in the video, I showed you that. I can actually go concealed with this. It's very, very heavy fabric, 2 layers, and it's, like I say, it's the only one that works the whole torso, front and back, to conceal whatever the person's wearing under them. So I was walking around downtown, walking right by people, and nobody was even noticing that I had a plate carrier on with this shirt on. Okay, walking around, nothing weird. Had I been walking around with that plate carrier on, God forbid a rifle slung or a weapon, the police would have been there in minutes. People would have been calling the cops. So if we transfer over to an end times scenario, all eyes on me is not what you want. So you have to be able to weave that hard target, real gray man balance. That's why our bags don't have Molly on them. That's why our bags don't look military. The gray man operations pack, these bags that I'm using, this bag I got in from River Road. These items are really just perfect for being able to fit a wide array of environments. The difference with the gray man operations pack is that it is really a color that's more blendable even in the woods, even in rural. And then I've got my backpack cover in here that's camouflage, so I just throw that, it waterproofs it and makes it camouflage all in one. It's a little bit of a better kit. This one is great for urban areas. So I had my pickleball racket in here and, you know, change of clothes, and I keep some camera gear in here and whatnot because I'm a YouTuber, right? But the point is, everything has to go into being able to, if you want to armor up, you've got to be able to conceal the armor. So we want the thinnest profile, the smallest profile, the least amount of padding, just padding that's necessary. And then when we make that transition from urban to rural and I take my shirt off and I put on camouflage, it's great that my plate carrier is also camouflage so I can transition from urban to rural. Now I'm making that transition from urban to a rural environment. I'm going to infiltrate into the woods, into the forest, into the jungle, whatever it may be. So concealment is going to completely change for me. Concealment is no longer going to look like presenting the image to those around me that I want to present, which is the real gray man theory. It is now going to become camouflage. And that's because there's not going to be that many people, right? When you're out in the woods and you have the expectation to have very small numbers of people, then it's just easier to not be seen at all than to be seen and perceived as you want to be perceived. So now I can make my mission the art of concealment, which there's other videos here on the channel on that, but it doesn't just include camouflaging for sight. It includes camouflaging for sound, for smell, okay? Camouflaging for thermal imaging, camouflaging for detection devices, and really just a large gamut of camouflaging techniques. Everything changes. If you want to maintain the ability to go back and forth between urban and rural, then that's why we have shirts like the Gray Man Operation shirt in beige, because it's a natural color tone, not full on camouflage, but can still be used in urban settings. That's why we have the bag here, the Gray Man Operations pack with the waterproof backpack cover that can just very easily go from, you know, urban settings, normal backpack, and then just throw on the waterproof backpack cover as soon as you hit the woods, and now you're ready for full on camouflage. This particular plate carrier, I told you I would tell you why it's multicam, all right? And if you can't get the world's most effective camouflage, which is, you know, obviously this suit that I'm wearing here, the Bone Tactical camouflage pattern, then the next best option is going to be multicam. After that, you can use like an ATAX or something along those lines. I did mention as well that if I'm going to be now kitting this out, this particular plate carrier from RTS Tactical comes with these extra pads. You just kind of open them up here, Velcro, and stick them on there. And it helps when you're now starting to load up kit, because now that I'm going full camouflage and I'm hitting that rural environment, now I'm able to sling that AR. Now I'm able to have those weapons platforms. I can have my primary, secondary, and tertiary option. I'm gonna want some sort of a long gun, right? I prefer a 308 platform, AR-10 platform with 45-degree angle sights and a medium-sized scope where I can go anywhere out to 600 yards very easily, and then just get that 45-degree cant for room clearing, stuff like that. 45 backup iron sights, 308 caliber, just definitely a lot better caliber than what you would look at a 5.56. It's much more effective man stopper. better at longer ranges, more consistent ballistic coefficient. Then I'm gonna, sidearm, right? All my mags, I can fit out that plate carrier. If you guys wanna see loadout plate carriers for this type of environment, now rural environment plate carrier loadouts, we can get into that too. Comment below and let me know. But the biggest idea and the biggest takeaway from this is when you start loading up all this stuff, remember, you're gonna begin to lose the ability to now go into civilization and remain low profile and not make yourself a major target. Because if I walk into a city kitted out like everybody thinks they're going to, I'm walking in with my rifle like this, just walking into the city, 1,600 meters away, anybody in a hide in a building that knows what they're doing just drops me with one shot and takes all my gear. So definitely have to keep in mind that this is now your own stealth mode, okay? And so that means all your additional stuff, all your extra mags, all your firearms, weapons, anything you carry also has to be along the lines of natural colors, broken up those natural colors, scent control, sound control, no, shiny metal parts, nothing black, nothing clinking, nothing blinking, nothing beeping, and it's a whole nother ball game getting out into the woods. So I'm gonna finish off this video with most people live in a city. Why? Because we, human beings, we're social creatures. We work, we have to have social lives. We live in neighborhoods, most of us. So this actual AR-15 loadout with all the camo and stealth mode, it's not gonna apply to most people. If you have a family and you have little kids and they don't know how to operate on, full stealth mode in the woods, then you better have a way to do more of a gray man theory approach. So that's kind of the story that nobody's telling you. That's the truth behind loading out that plate carrier or having it ready for your end time scenario. It's a lot to consider, I know, but definitely let me know what aspects of this, because this is so deep, please let me know what aspects of this that you want to see more of in the future. Thanks for watching. Bone out.